All right, Aries, it is your turn. I hope I have enough juice left in the counter battery to get through this. Welcome all to your, what is it, September? September 2017 general reading. I'm back and I'm switching up the format a little bit this month. This video is going to contain two readings. The first one being a real quickie, more or less like mundane reading, sort of just kind of touching on the simple things in life, like that anybody who knows what the tarot cards mean could deduce a general reading from this. Okay, and then the second half of the video is going to be more enlightened messages, more sort of esoteric for people who are going through spiritual growth, spiritual enlightenment, and those sorts of things. So I hope you enjoy both of them. Thanks again for all your support and subscribes through the bulk of 2017. I've been going for about 6 months now, and I have some of the smartest subscribers in the entire world, and I want to thank you for being there on the receiving end for that. Okay, Aries? The first reading is going to be a traditional Celtic cross. I haven't done these in a while, but we're just going to rip through them and see how it goes. Well, not rip, but this is the nitty-gritty of tarot. That's what, when you're coming here for healing messages, but I wanted to make a difference in the readings between the same old someone is doing this, someone was doing that, versus like, let's take a deeper look inside kind of thing. So up in the overall energy here for this Celtic cross, we have an 8 of Wands, okay? So for some of you, this means that there's travel plans. You might be far away from home at current time, or as well, there could be certain situations where you've been like texting back and forth or waiting on emails or sending out a ton of emails, waiting for something to happen. It's kind of like, go, and then it's kind of like you have to wait. There may be some situations here as well that some of you may be waiting for transportation too, I feel. Hopefully you're not stuck somewhere, but with that 8 of Wands up there, it means like things moving past you very quickly or you moving through things very quickly, okay? And in the intention, the querent, this card, we have a Page of Swords reversed. So for some of you, Aries, your mind would definitely be on a younger Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra at this time. Or as well, there could be situations where you're searching out for truth. You're searching for truth at this time. It's like you're not really certain as to what to believe when you see Page of Swords reversed like this. She's almost kind of like followed her heart or followed some sort of belief or some sort of advice or guidance. Like this is the wild goose chase kind of thing. And then when you arrive, you like suddenly realize, well, it's not true, or the pie wasn't as sweet as we originally anticipated it to be. So watch out for preconceived notions or set expectations, holding on to those with Page of Swords, because it's saying like you're on a fact-finding mission, a truth-finding mission. What's crossing you here is the Magician. So you may be questioning, well, do I have enough resources to accomplish the tasks at hand, to get to where I want to go? This reading so far to me is all about journey, and maybe people like running out of resources. So if you're kind of living sort of the hippie lifestyle or the carefree lifestyle, and maybe you're on your way to Burning Man out there at the end of the month, and you just don't know, like, well, maybe you get by with a little help from my friends, kind of with the Joe Cocker thing. It's kind of like the Magician is saying, don't be afraid to like do what it takes to get things done. If you have to like borrow a little bit, that would be okay too. But what's crossing you, or your challenge this month, is going to be your own resourcefulness. So being able to like rely on yourself, being like independence. So you are traditionally one of the more independent signs. People actually look to you for guidance. But this could be saying that you might be stretched a little too thin, or you've been lending yourself out a little bit too much, and what's left for you at the end of the day, is it enough kind of thing, all right? So what's up in the crowning energy? We've got 4 of Cups reversed, so a very busy time for you, Aries. A lot of you could be vacationing at this time again. A lot of you could be in situations where it's just like you almost wish the energies would slow down around you, or maybe people or children or your household, like things would just kind of calm down. With Sun going into Virgo here, it's like everybody's kind of like in the old traditional Walmart back to school mode, right? And you may notice like it might just be a little overwhelming. And the end of the days for September, like you might be just feeling a little bit tired when you get home from work, or when you get done doing whatever you're doing, because you're kind of like the body is adapting to this sort of like this time of year where it's like, we're the length of sun we get in the days is waning, and our biorhythms will adjust to that. So don't be surprised if you're feeling a little bit tired. It's not really like under the weather kind of stuff. It's just more a little bit of a lethargy, or maybe some apathy for some of you, just because other people may just be like seeming more engaged or more like willing to crack the whip on you kind of thing. All right, now what you're bringing forward is maybe a choice or the result of a choice that you have recently made with Two of Pentacles. And this choice involved how you were allocating your time, who, what, when, why you were devoting your time and your resources to. I feel like some of you might have a little bit of like mild regret in regards to a decision that you've just made, and you're hoping there might be a way that you can reverse it based on the fact that now you know more of the truth. Like that old saying of hindsight being 20/20 is always true, right? Some of you might have just went through a smaller lesson with that, with this Two of Pentacles. But the theme for this is make the most of your time this month. Even if you are tired, it's like you're going to have to conserve, you're going to have to be efficient and make the most of whatever's going on here. Okay. What's in the foundation of this reading? Knight of Pentacles. Some of you are definitely busy with children at this time. Older children, younger children, it doesn't matter here. This is something where like resources and time are like kind of going out, but you're not progressing with the money. It's like where you opened the window and a strong gust of wind came and where your stack of hundies flew, your stack of C notes went flying away kind of thing. But, you know, in the end, it's like this is helping you. You're just like maintaining, I feel, with Knight of Pentacles. You're moving through this situation where it's like the money you're putting out, you know you have to. It's like rooted in responsibility. It's based in responsibility and the people that you share your love with and that you're caring for. Or if this is you, like I was saying, having to ask for a loan, having to like reach out to ask for more resources so that you can get to where you want to go or to where you want to be. It's okay, because you may feel like, oh, it might be something that you're perceiving as being like insurmountable, or some of you may have just been in a situation where contractually you may have lost a little bit of money, but it's not forever kind of thing, right? It just might have slowed you down a bit. Okay, in the near future, Four of Swords. Yes, here's that rest that's coming, right? When we see this, I told you it's time. You're going to be feeling a little bit lethargic, a little bit apathetic. So we got to recharge the batteries, Aries. We got to make sure that we're not pushing ourselves and pushing others in our environment too hard in September, okay? Now, in our environment, speaking of environment, wow, more Pentacles, core card Pentacles. Some of you at this time as well, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus that is in your environment that is drawing on your resources, that is pulling from you, taking from you at this time, I feel, okay? This is earth sign people in your environment that you may be at odds with because they are asking too much of you, of your resources, all right? Okay, it's like just confirming itself as we go, all right? Best path to follow, the Lover's card. Be careful who you trust. Don't trust. If someone hasn't proven themselves to be loyal, trustworthy, don't trust them, okay? That's where it is. Be very wary. You're in a situation where you're on a fact-finding mission, so I don't see you guys being overall just like, oh, yeah, here, take the car keys, take her for a spin. You know, you're selling your old Beamer on Craigslist. Oh, yeah, take her for a spin. You'll be back around. Just, like, be careful with who you're trusting, with your time, with your things, with the safety of your loved ones, anything like of that nature, okay? So just, like, the best path to follow is say be a bit more reserved when it comes to your trust. All right, hopes and dreams, 10 of Pentacles. Hopes and dreams is maybe that you don't have enough. Look at this Pentacles again. Like, you guys, I hope we didn't see the 5 here. I hope there's not too much of a lack mentality going on, or you're feeling it. Maybe you're just like kind of looking at the budget and you're like, dang, I wish there was more. I wish I could like achieve like some of the dreams I had when I was a younger person. And it's like, it's really tough right now because it's like, I'm so tired at the end of the day. It's almost like you work your hands to the bone, and then it's like, you know, the paycheck and the bills come at the end of the month, and you're like, dang it, is that really worth it? It's like we're spinning our wheels here and that sort of thing. And I'm seeing cars again once in a while. Some of you, it's like you're fixing your car. You might be buying a new car. You might be selling a car, but maybe you're just not getting what you thought it was worth because maybe you're holding on to like certain value. You're valuing it more. Remember, things that in the secondary economy, when it comes to that buying and selling and bartering in our traditional market, it's only worth what somebody else is willing to pay for it. You know, you might be able to see it listed on eBay for X amount of dollars, but you know nobody's biting, right? If it's something like that, it's like you got to remember, like you don't want people lowballing you, obviously, but at the same time, it's like if you're trying to liquidate your things, your stuff, and those sorts of things, and you're just not getting what you're asking for, situation could be, remember, It's only worth what somebody else is willing to pay for it in the moment. And we can't have any expectations that we hold on to that about that. Okay, and overall outcome, if things don't change, you're going to find out the truth about this air sign. You're going to find out the true colors are going to come shining through on these people in your environment that you're unsure about, or that you maybe were led to believe they were a certain way, or told that they could be trusted, and now maybe there's a situation where it's like analytically you're devising and discerning certain opinions and judgments about people at this time. Okay, judgments is just like, we try not to judge, but we all need to for our own safety kind of thing, right? We have to make sure like we don't open our purse strings up to people that are just going to take. This Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra that's in your environment, be very careful about how honest they're being with you at this time, okay? So that's that. So that's the mundane tarot. Now we're going to get into more of my favorite parts. We're going to draw on some oracle cards for our direction and for our wisdom messages. And then we're going to look at our chakras. So for those of you spiritually awake and then you're just loving it and living it, you're feeling that 5D, those higher frequencies, those high vibes, those I'm picking up good vibration, right? That kind of Beach Boy lifestyle. That's awesome. We're going to get some oracle cards out. And just remember, guys, if you were born on a cusp between the signs, please check out my cusp series of videos. We actually take the oracle messages that come from these monthlies, and they're going to go into the cusp readings for both sides of your cusp. So do check those out, okay? So your message for wisdom this month for September, Aries, is be flexible, okay? Be willing to accommodate, I feel. Be willing to, like, if you can't duck, you better dodge, and if you can't dodge, you better juke, kind of thing, right? You just have to be sort of adaptable, or that Knight of Pentacles thing, that willingness to sort of like put yourself out there for others that you love and that you care about. You don't want to be too rigid. You don't want to be too locked up. Supple is vibrancy, and crispy and broken is dead, when it comes to that. So you want to make sure that you're feeling flexible. Look at the yoga stance. Look at the yoga pose in this. Let's do it. Let's stretch it out. Let's get into our bodies before we get into our meditation. A perfect example of that. People go to yoga all the time, and then like in the end of it, do they really focus on the meditation part? Or maybe people become so involved in meditation part, they forget to check in with their body before they go into meditation, and they could be enriching their experience even more so when we see that flexibility card. So your wisdom, be adaptable, be flexible, be willing. Okay, your direction, stuck in the mud. Yeah, you guys, if you have to just get some rest, tell people you're under the weather, not feeling well, that's okay. They'll understand, because the feeling is again, with this spinning the wheels, being stuck in the mud, it's like the more you try and push against what you're working for, when you realize it's not working, the more stuck or the more deep or the more rubber is going to come off the tires without you moving forward anywhere. This is a slow moving month for the sign of Aries, okay? We had it with Nine of Pentacles. We see it again here. We had it with the Ten of Pentacles. We have it with this card that's stuck in the mud. So direction-wise, don't go anywhere. Don't worry. Don't like get out there, right? Of course we had this up in the overall energy, right? If you are stuck, I'm sorry. Like maybe call mom, call dad, call a best friend. They can send you some cash. You can get to where you need to go. But the situation is, rely on your resourcefulness to move forward. But for those of you that you are in your home and you are like kind of doing the domestic thing, don't worry about like making big leaps and bounds at this time. This is the time where you like kind of settle everybody down. You gather things in. You get ready for shorter days. You get ready for the fall to come quickly kind of thing, in case it does, right? We're coming up into this end of things where it's like people are going to be prepared, and some people are not going to. They're going to just be like kind of chasing their dreams. And that, I'm not saying you're not, but what I'm saying is you try to move too far, too fast this month, Aries, it's not going to work out. It's not going to be favorable for you, okay? Now, the reasons why, God only knows, but let's check in with our chakras, okay? As always, we're going to pull 7 cards, maybe more, depending on how they flop. Lately I've been taking flippers and jumpers and putting them in the spread, because it's like, unless it's like something where it's just like an errant lack of talented shuffling, I feel like tarot is just like, and these cards, they want to express that message based on sort of that energy, it's not me, it's not the camera, it's not the crystal, it's the space in between the crystal. That's where all the magic happens. It's like right in front of us, but we can't see it because we're always gazing through it, right? It's like when you look at a dirty window, are we looking at the window? Are you looking through the window? It's that way with the very nature of space and time, right? Are we looking at it or are we looking through it? Well, most of us, because of the way generations before have taught us, and like, you know, the way we're conditioned, we look through space and time. We don't often take the time to just like directly look at it and realize like that's where the messages are. That's where the magic happens, okay? So that's what's going on, guys. Aries, thanks again for all of your subscriptions, your likes, sharing, and the comments especially. I love to hear from you guys. If you want to tell me I'm a whack job, a nut job, go for it. I love that too. Or if you just want to, you know, hang out, come check out the roundtable videos. We can chat some more, and even I've been giving a few little mini readings to people who participate actively and comment on the channel. So keep it up, guys. Wow, look at this. The grounding root chakra. You guys have this card number 24, faith. And what a beautiful word that is. We often kind of like hear that word used sort of loosely, and like kind of we attach it to maybe a Judeo-Christian way of looking at things. But faith is just evidence of things unseen, right? When we really know it to be true, right? When we know it in our heart and our mind, nobody's going to tell us any different. And faith comes back to that thing where the truth is relative. If nobody else believes that you saw what you saw, maybe you saw some crazy thing flying through the sky, or you were laying in bed at night meditating and something came through the space-time continuum and just kind of said, hello, here I am. And, you know, maybe you're finding it difficult to open up about that experience or just define what that experience was. This card is saying if you've had something like that, just let it go. Be very happy and thankful that it happened to you. And if you're dealing with spirit, always be in this place of gratitude and thanking spirit. See, there are spirit guides around her and angels presence with her, this person that's having faith. And when you do let it go and just be in a very joyous acceptance and gratitude that that particular thing happened to you, it will continue to happen to you if you want it, and you will begin to see the reasons why those sorts of things happen to you. So very good to see that card here. Some of you could be having some awesome experiences in regards to mediumship, connecting with old, long past loved ones, things like that this month, I feel, because you're going to be doing a lot of resting, I feel, and they're like slowing things down. And that's when we get into that gap, that place of silence, that sort of stuff can come through. Now, this card is saying perhaps there's a risk that we become a little bit too analytical. We've been, you know, trying to impress others a little bit rather than just being inspired for ourselves and having the things and the projects and whatever it is around us just be good enough for us. You know, who cares if it's good enough for someone else? It just takes some time in a little everyone. Sorry, I just like get singing sometimes, and I don't know why I do that, but that's what it. So just make sure that you're pleased with what's happening, and you don't go out of your way to impress others, because that's when you'll get back into this spinning your wheels. It's like, yeah, they might give you approval, or they may just kind of nod their head and say, wow, that's awesome. But it's like, at the end of the day, do you really need that from other people? Do we really have to be in that situation? Or can we be happy enough that we succeeded at it to our standards, to our level, right? That kind of thing. All right. Wow, now we've got a two of water up here. This in the gut instinct. So some of you, there is romance, others thoughts of romance about where relationships are going. This is a good time for you to connect with your partners sensually and essentially sensually. So treat it as such. Being sensual is essential to your relationship, because if it's kind of just like you get into that you know, routine, that overall, like, okay, maybe it's like you're having dinner, you know, maybe you watch a movie, and it's like you read the paper in bed beside your lover, and it's like maybe it's tough to engage. Maybe it's like we're finding what it is it takes to like maybe bring the spark back or bring the romance back into that situation. You know, a lot of you, maybe you're going to be saying like, oh, enough of the missionary. Let's really get things rocking here. And for those of you that are single, the gut instinct is telling you, yeah, go out on that date, go out on a whim. Give it a try. If it's someone you're uncertain about, like, give it a try. It doesn't mean you have to open up your entire heart and your levels of trust, but sometimes you just got to follow your intuition. Like, the person might be all right. They might be, you know, very interested in you, and there could be good reason for that. So give some of that a chance as well, Aries. Okay, wow. This is kind of interesting to see. This card here is like more or less like a judgment card, I feel, and this is up in your heart. So you guys are dealing with trust issues this month as well. It showed up in the mundane end of the reading. It's like there is somebody around there that is like almost proven that they can't be trusted, and you're going to be like kind of developing a Polaroid picture of exactly who that is or why that is. And it could be somebody that, you know, was close to you or is close to you, where it's like, don't be surprised if you're tempted to like cut people out of your heart. You may just have to say like, okay, if you do this to me again, you know, this is what you can expect. If you fuck me over here, just beware that I'm kind of like watching you now. I'm kind of like looking at this from a point of view. Look at all the fire around this. This is you guys like really just kind of tapping into how you're feeling on the inside about people on your outside that don't have these deep conversations with you. They're only around kind of like on the fringe, I feel a little bit, or like it could be a friend of a friend, or it could be somebody that you kind of deal with. But for some of you, it is somebody a little bit closer, okay? I'm just going to ask for a bit of clarity of why this, Six of Fire is up for you guys. Now, Six of Wands in the traditional tarot is like the card of victory. And this card is kind of the same, but it's almost like it's showing that you're like making the call about somebody. You're like, yep. No more sitting on the fence regarding about how I feel about that person or what I'm assuming about that person. It's like right now it's real, okay? Wow. And this as well, for some of you, this could be a Virgo. I was feeling an air sign and still am for a lot of you. But as well, for some of you, because we had that situation where the earth sign was taking. And I feel it strongly with this card that it's a Virgo. So it's just a situation where it's like if you continue to let them do what they're doing, it's like you're only hurting yourselves. Or if you're like unwilling to confront the situation, it's like you're only going to be hurting yourself. Okay, that sort of situation. But you gotta kind of like relax. You can't get too all up in a puff about it. You just kind of be like, you know, you come to me. Why don't you just keep doing what you're doing in your folly? And you know, the closer you get to me, the less I have to yell to tell you to step back, kind of thing, right? Okay. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is the Scribe card, and this is returned upside down in the area of communication. So this confrontation of this situation is going to be huge for some of you. For others of you, you're not going to feel like wanting to talk about it. It's almost like you could be fixing some problems with money instead of like doing a lot of the extra running around to like find out the truth. We find out we're on that fact-finding mission. But it's like, it's almost like you're going to have to see it. You can't be like told, right, by another person. And the faith is coming from within, and it's coming from the environment. It is not coming from the words of another person. The words of the other people in your environment are going to have to sort of be like discerned, like very carefully in front of you. As they occur, so that you can tell the truth about the situation, because you're trying to get to the bottom of it, and whatever's happened to Aries is like you want to figure it out now. You want to know, like, but what I'm saying is like you're going to have to relax on it, go on a little bit of faith, take clues from the environment, and then it will come, because communication could be blocked at this time. And as well, this could be a situation where it's like if you're maybe have a little bit too pride to ask for some money if you need to borrow some, or if you're like unwilling to hear somebody's situation knowing that they're just going to want to borrow money, maybe that's a feeling I have there as well. And as well, situations where it's like you have to sort of mentally record conversations. You don't want to record anyone against their will on your smartphone, but you have to kind of like be very careful to just remember what people have said, so that, you know, their Hippocratic behavior, it's like you can call it out when it happens. So that there's that. Okay, now we've got this Five of Water being reversed here. So this is okay. This is a situation where you are opening up a little bit more to emotion. And some of the signs are going to be more emotional than others. It's like some people are going to seem like cold, calculating, cut off, real, but they're just doing it for like some of their own like journey, protection through their journey. And other signs are just going to be like weeping walls of like tears. It's going to be like there's going to be sensitivity, fragility around you. For you guys, you're opening up very mildly to emotions. You guys are like going to be feeling, you're not going to be going off the deep end, but there's going to be a heightened awareness of how you're feeling and why you're feeling it, okay? It's kind of goes hand in hand with this fact-finding mission that comes along. The feelings are kind of like pulling up the rear here, and they're like, oh no, there was a lie. Like, how do I feel about that? What am I going to do about it? Like, that sort of thing. And with you being a fire sign, it's kind of like you're not an air and you're not a water, so it's like that mind versus like that thinking versus feeling thing is usually in a nice balance for you, and it just comes forward as like passion and fun and you know, being able to like enjoy most every day in life. But for this here, it's almost like if your mind has been feeling like it's been betrayed, you have to say, okay, well, have my feelings been betrayed, or am I okay just to say, you know what, I can forgive and forget here, right? Those sort of things. But spiritually, your soul is wanting you to be in greater recognition of your emotions this month, I feel, Aries, okay? So this is up in the third eye, in the pineal gland chakra, okay? Wow. And speaking of water signs, crowning this whole reading, crowning everything, or what the message coming in from Source is got this King of Water, or in a traditional tarot would be King of Cups. So this is going to, whatever's going to happen here, at the end of the day, at the end of it all, you guys are going to make a great leap or a great achievement in being more in tune with your feelings and going through a period of emotional growth. And that's friggin' awesome. That is great that you guys are doing that as a result of whatever's happening in the stuff going on around you, right? Or what we sometimes perceive as our ever important egoic life. The spirit is actually growing in terms of being able to understand emotion and the larger journey here. This is a coming of age sort of story. And as well, there could be a situation where perhaps you've got a parent that is a water sign that you are dealing with at this month as well. Okay, this person is giving, this person is understanding. Don't be afraid to open up to this person and talk to this person, because your notion of it, maybe in the past, maybe they've been angry with you before, maybe they've been short with you before, but it's like you, with a very emotional person, what you're maybe coming to realize is that it's not always the negative emotions. They're just feelers. They're intuitive enough to know that if they have had to have bad emotional responses to situations, that they've always come out with some sort of progression or growth as a result, and then this sort of water energy is spilling over into whatever you're doing. So if you share a cusp with Pisces, please do check that out. There's going to be some messages there, I feel. All right, Aries, as always, it was a pleasure to read for you. That's what I had this month. Know that I love you all, and we'll see you next time.